Maybe this feels familiar. You're lying there at night, staring at the ceiling, replaying the same moment over and over again. The moment she went quiet, the moment everything shifted, the moment you realized you were in a silent battle you never asked for, but suddenly feel like you have to win. You tell yourself you can be strong, you can go no contact, you can hold the line, but every hour that passes feels like a test you didn't study for. And the worst part, you don't even know if she's thinking about you, missing you, or if she's already forgotten everything you ever shared. If this is you, then you know exactly how heavy the silence can get. It's not just quiet. It's the kind of quiet that presses on your chest, that makes your heart race at random moments, that forces you to check her social media even though you promised yourself you wouldn't. You think, should I reach out? Should I break no contact? Should I wait? Should I do what she's doing? It's a mental tug of war, and the rope is burning your hands. Maybe you're asking yourself questions you never thought you'd have to ask. Why did she pull away? What did I do wrong? Does she even care that I'm not reaching out? Is she waiting on me? Am I losing her, or is she losing me? And the craziest part, you're trying to act like everything is fine while your mind is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. Maybe this feels familiar, the urge to text her one more time. The constant fight between vulnerability and pride, the fear that silence means the end, but also the small, stubborn part of you that hopes silence might make her realize your worth. And so here you are, stuck in the middle of no contact versus no contact, both of you waiting, watching, wondering who will break first. But what if this silent battle isn't about who reaches out, but about something much deeper you haven't even realized yet? If you're in the middle of this silent standoff, the first thing you need to understand is this: most men approach no contact like it's a competition. They think the goal is to win by outweighting her, outlasting her, proving they're stronger, colder, more detached. But that mindset is exactly what makes them lose themselves in the process. Because when you treat silence like a battlefield, you stop paying attention to the only thing that actually matters, your center. Here's the truth most men don't realize: no contact was never designed to manipulate her. It's not a trick, it's not a punishment, and it's not some game where the prize is her attention. No contact is about regaining control of your emotional frame. It's about stepping back into yourself after you've spent too long reacting to her emotions, her decisions, and her inconsistencies. The reason so many men crumble in this situation is because they approach it from insecurity. They're terrified of losing her, so every hour of silence feels like a threat. They convince themselves that her not reaching out means they're not good enough, not wanted, not chosen. And when a man believes that, he breaks no contact not out of strength, but out of fear. A core masculine principle you need to understand is this: a man leads by being rooted, not reactive. When you're grounded, you don't chase clarity, you create it. You don't beg for reassurance, you become your own source of it. And you don't move based on what she does, you move based on who you are. Another principle is simple, but powerful: your attention is your power. Where you place it reveals your value. Most men place it on her. A grounded man places it on himself, his purpose, his direction. So while you might think this is a silent battle between you and her, the real battle is between the man you are right now and the man you're supposed to become. He's sitting in his car in an empty parking lot, engine off, hands resting on the steering wheel. The world outside is quiet, a kind of quiet that feels too familiar. Streetlights glow against the windshield, blurring slightly as he exhales. His phone sits face up in the cup holder, the screen black, cold, untouched. He told himself he wouldn't look. He told himself he wouldn't check. But every minute, his eyes drift toward it, like it holds the answers he's afraid to admit he wants. He remembers the last conversation with her, the sharp tone in her voice, the way she pulled away, the way he felt something slipping but couldn't grab it. Was it me? Did I say the wrong thing? Did she already decide to leave before I even noticed? The questions echo inside him, louder than the silence itself. Hours pass. Cars come and go. Life moves around him while he sits in the stillness, replaying memories like scenes from a film he never asked to star in. The night they laughed until sunrise. The way she used to grab his arm when she was cold. The warmth that felt effortless until it wasn't. His phone buzzes, but it's just a notification he doesn't care about. His chest tightens, then loosens, as if the universe is reminding him how little control he actually has. Should I text her first? Should I wait? Is she doing the same thing right now? Is she staring at her phone too, or has she already moved on? He imagines her lying on her bed, phone in hand, thinking the same thoughts, fighting the same urge. Two people in two different spaces, trapped in the same silent war. Neither moving, neither speaking, both feeling the weight of what might be lost. The wind rattles a loose sign outside. He watches it sway back and forth, almost hypnotic. A reminder that even stillness moves if you wait long enough. And somewhere deep inside, he knows the truth he's been avoiding. This isn't just no contact, vs. no contact. This is him standing at the threshold between holding on and finally learning to let go. Most men walk into no contact with a belief that destroys them from the inside evive. If she's not reaching out, it means I'm losing her. But here's the truth. Silence doesn't always mean rejection. Sometimes it means she's overwhelmed, confused, or waiting to see if you'll chase her the way every other man has. And sometimes it means nothing at all. The meaning you attach to her silence is usually louder than the silence itself. Another belief that keeps men stuck is the idea that whoever breaks no contact first loses. That's not strength. That's insecurity wearing a mask. What makes you powerful isn't how long you can stay silent, but how deeply you can stay centered. The goal isn't to make her miss you. The goal is to remember yourself. The third belief is the most dangerous. If I don't reach out, she'll forget about me. No. People don't forget presence. They forget the version of you that wasn't fully aligned. They forget the man who dimmed himself just to avoid conflict. What no contact actually reveals is whether the connection was strong enough to exist without constant reassurance. She didn't ghost you. You disappeared from yourself. Silence doesn't break a man. It exposes him. Winning the silent battle starts with winning your own mind. The 1% headman isn't playing the same silent game everyone else is. He's not sitting there counting days, waiting for her to break, or obsessing over who reaches out first. This is what he understands. No contact is not a strategy for control. It's a mirror. It reflects how steady, grounded, and self-led he really is when no one is clapping for him, validating him, or choosing him in the moment. Most men use silence as punishment. He uses silence as alignment. This is how he leads with presence, not pressure. He doesn't collapse into anxiety when she doesn't respond. He doesn't build stories in his head about what she's thinking or who she's talking to. Instead, he asks himself the only question that matters: am I operating from fear or from truth? And he chooses truth every time. He knows that attention is currency, and he spends it wisely, not on overthinking, not on chasing, not on proving anything. He invests it back into himself, into his mission, into the man he's becoming. That's why he stands out. Not because he's colder, but because he's clearer. This is what he understands. Real power isn't in holding back. It's in holding firm. The 1% headman doesn't win the silent battle by waiting longer. He wins it by not abandoning himself in the process. It happens in a moment so small, it almost feels accidental. You're standing in front of the mirror, half awake, half tired from another night spent waiting for a message that never came. Your reflection looks different today. Not broken, not defeated, just honest. There's a heaviness in your eyes, but beneath it, something else flickers. Something you haven't seen in a while. You lean in closer, studying yourself, and suddenly the thought hits you with quiet force of, why am I giving someone else the power to decide how I feel? It's not angry. It's not bitter. It's pure truth. And for the first time, it lands differently. The silence you've been suffocating in doesn't feel like her silence anymore. It feels like your own. The fog you thought she created was actually coming from you, from your fear, your overthinking, your belief that her attention was proof of your value. You straighten your shoulders, something shifts, something clicks. You realize you've been waiting for her to choose you, while forgetting you could choose yourself at any moment. The room hasn't changed, the mirror hasn't changed, but you have. In that stillness, you see it clearly. The silent battle was never about her. It was about the moment you finally remembered who you were before the noise, before the doubt, before the waiting. And for the first time, the silence feels like yours to command, not yours to fear. In the beginning, you were caught in the tension, wondering who would break first, who cared more, who would move in the silence. But now you know the truth you couldn't see then. The battle was never about outweighting her. It was about outgrowing the version of you that needed her validation to breathe. You don't fear the quiet anymore, because you're no longer filling it with doubt. You've become the man who stands steady, even when no one is standing with him. The silent battle was never between you and her. It was between you and the man you refused to become. And now you've become him.